Welcome home. I'm Jacob from Bocca di Lupo. This is my home, which is standing in for Bocca di Lupo at the moment. You're in your home, which is also standing in for Bocca di Lupo at the moment. And today we're going to cook a classic from Ligurian homes, Trofie al pesto. Pesto just means pounded, but the classic one, the one that everyone knows, the one that everyone loves, or everyone with a soul loves, is Pesto Genovese, which is a basil pesto. It's made from basil and pine nuts and pecorino, or in our case pecorino and parmesan, a little bit of garlic and olive oil, and sometimes, as in ours, a little bit of butter. It's a raw sauce and should never be cooked because the flavour of basil changes completely when you cook it. In Liguria, they most often serve the pesto with a pasta called trofie. And trofie are not very well known in this country. They are like little squiggles. They look like a kind of music annotation or something, or a rare seashell. Basically, it's a torpedo-shaped pasta, but pointed at both ends, or a very elongated lozenge that's then been twisted, so it's got a spiral groove down it. And if you're a fisherman, you'll know that you sometimes get weights of this shape, fishing weights of this shape. I have some water here, which was boiling a second ago, and is going to be boiling in a second because this is a really potent induction hob. And that water is well salty. Not too salty, but nicely salty. That equates to about 1% salinity. So if you want to measure it, that's 10 grams of salt for every litre of water. And from a health perspective, less salt is better. And as with many things in life, anything that you take part in that can be unhealthy in excess, salt is one, alcohol is one. You have to strike a balance between what is good for your soul and enables you to enjoy life, and what enables you to live for longer. Because if you lived for longer and longer and longer and enjoyed life less and less and less, well, you might as well have died sooner. Conversely, if you're having a good time, you don't want to die. So that's the amount of salt you should put in. I'm going to put the trofie in the water. There is no oil in the pasta water because it would be a waste. All I do to make sure the pasta doesn't stick to itself is make sure there's plenty of water, and I move it a little bit when I first put it in. So in my case, I shake my pasta basket, not too much because this pasta basket has big holes and the trofie are small and they can't escape. This pasta will take about 10 minutes to cook. These green beans and potatoes have been blanched for a second, but are basically raw, and they will take less than 5 minutes to cook. So I'm going to let the pasta cook for about 5 minutes, and in the meantime I will attend to two other things. One of them is the pesto, which I'm going to decant from the container. Oh my god, it's so fragrant. So we buy good basil and really good olive oil, and really good pecorino romano, which we put in here, and really good parmesan. But the thing that sets this apart is the pine nuts. And most people either don't use pine nuts at all anymore because they're so expensive, or they use short ones that come from Asia. And although there's nothing wrong with them, they're not very fragrant. So the pine nuts we have in here are worth like 120, 150 pounds a kilo, wholesale. And they have this really wonderful resinous taste. They taste of pine. Now, I don't want this to cook, but I don't mind if it warms up a little bit. So you can leave it out at room temperature, or if you have a means of balancing it like I do, well above your boiling water, so it doesn't really cook, but it just melts a little bit, you can do that too. You don't want to sit it right in the pan, because then it will start to cook, and you don't want the basil in any way to have cooked. I'm going to see to my salad now. You have a pack of leaves, and depending on the time of year, there might be different leaves, but I've got escarole, and I hope you do too, because it is one of my favourites. It's already washed, it's already chopped. So that goes into a bowl with a pinch of salt and my dressing. And the important thing with salad is to really, really, really ensure that every leaf is properly coated in dressing. And the best way to do that is to mix it with your hands. You can use salad tongs, but your hands are better. I'm going to taste one leaf for seasoning. And that's perfect. I'm going to take my pesto off and just stir it, and you can see it's now gone a bit gloopy. It's already lost a bit of its cold. I'm going to say that's enough heating. I really don't want it to get warm. I actively do not want that to get warm. I just wanted it to melt. And I'm going to look for an implement, which I have out of shot. This is a spoon to safely remove a Trofie. Right, starting at tender at the end, so I'm going to put my potatoes and my green beans in. This is another thing that they do in Liguria that everyone should do because it's delicious and is lovely and authentic, but most people outside seem not to know about, which is that pasta with pesto should have green beans and potato in it. Bah! I don't know where that came from. Everyone does it there. No one does it outside, and everyone should do it outside because they're really nice. Yummy, yummy, yummy. We're going to come back to that in a minute because that needs a few minutes to cook. So, I think my pasta might be done, and this is my sixth sense. The pasta is still al dente but nice. I want to try a green bean, and I also want to try a potato. The green bean is crunchy but nice, and the potato could use it a minute longer. So I'm going to let it cook for a minute longer because the pasta is not going to overcook, the green bean's not going to overcook in that time. I'm going to prepare my plate. Here it is just prepared. One thing you can do with the plates when you're cooking pasta is you can steam it a little bit from the bottom, and it will get wet underneath, but it will warm the plate up a bit and then it won't make the pasta cold. My bowl is now warm. How is my potato? Check, 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 check. Potato is cooked. So I'm going to drain the pasta with the beans and the potato, dump it into the pesto, and I'm going to give it a good stir to coat. Oh, that is so fragrant and so wonderful. And I'm going to dish up my lunch and give a little sprinkling of parmesan. And say that is a good dish, if ever there was one. Enjoy.